What if the truth about your past came from the one person who once destroyed you? In tonight's story, Linda's life shatters when her ex-husband Vu calls, offering the secret of her real parents, on one cruel condition. She must leave Quang, the man who truly loves her. Torn between love and truth, between peace and pain, Linda faces a choice that could change everything. Will she risk her happiness to uncover the past, or protect the life she's finally built? Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for this breathtaking story of love, betrayal, and destiny. The rain poured relentlessly that evening, washing over the city in silver sheets. Inside her small kitchen, Linda wiped the last trace of flour from the wooden counter, breathing in the faint scent of freshly baked bread. It was supposed to be an ordinary night, quiet, peaceful, safe, but the sudden shrill ring of her phone shattered that fragile calm. She glanced at the screen, and her heart stopped. The name glowing there was one she thought she'd erased forever. Vu, her ex-husband. The man who once held her heart and then crushed it beyond repair. For a moment, she just stood there, frozen, the world narrowing down to the flickering light of her phone. Every instinct screamed at her to ignore the call, to let the past stay buried. But curiosity, the dangerous kind that burns even when you know it will hurt, made her thumb swipe across the screen. "Linda," his voice came through, low, heavy with something dark. That tone, calm but sharp, hadn't changed. It carried a poison only she could recognize. "You've done well for yourself, haven't you? A cozy house, a new man. Quang, right?" Linda's throat tightened. "What do you want, Vu?" she asked, forcing her voice to stay steady. There was a pause. Then, like a serpent uncoiling, he whispered, That night, sleep refused to come. Linda lay in bed beside Quang, listening to the steady rhythm of his breathing, so calm, so sure, so utterly unaware of the storm unraveling inside her. The rain had softened into a whisper outside the window, but inside her chest, it was still pouring. Every word from Vu's voice replayed in her mind, echoing like a curse she couldn't shake. "Leave Quang. Come back to me. I'll tell you who your parents were." Her hands clutched the blanket tightly. She had spent years trying to forget the void of her childhood, the endless nights in the orphanage when she used to stare at the ceiling and whisper into the dark, "Why did you leave me?" There was never an answer, only silence, until tonight. She rose quietly, careful not to wake Quang, and walked to the balcony. The air was cold, heavy with the smell of wet earth. The streetlights shimmered through the rain, painting her reflection on the glass door. Lonely, uncertain, and haunted by the past. Somewhere out there, Vu was waiting, holding a truth that had the power to break her all over again. Linda closed her eyes. She could almost see her younger self, the little girl with tangled hair and tear-streaked cheeks, begging for a name, a reason, a face to call mother. And now, fate had thrown that lost child a lifeline, but it came from the one person she swore never to trust again. Her mind spun with impossible questions. What if he's telling the truth? What if my parents are still alive? The thought both thrilled and terrified her. She had built her life on fragments, on surviving, on learning to love again after the ruins Vu left behind. Quang had been her safe harbor, the man who saw her scars and never turned away. Could she risk shattering that peace just to chase ghosts? A single tear slid down her cheek, lost in the cold drizzle that blew across the balcony. Why now, Vu? Why when I finally learned to breathe again? Behind her, the soft creak of the wooden floor made her turn. Quang stood in the doorway, drowsy and concerned, his voice husky from sleep. Can't sleep? She forced a faint smile. Just needed some air. He nodded, stepping closer, wrapping a blanket around her shoulders. You're freezing. His warmth seeped into her, grounding her, reminding her of everything real and good. For a fleeting moment, she wanted to confess everything, to tell him about the call, about the secret, about how her heart was caught between him and a truth she couldn't ignore. But the words wouldn't come. When he kissed her forehead and went back to bed, Linda stayed where she was, staring into the rain-soaked horizon. She knew she was standing at the edge of something dangerous, an invisible line between love and obsession, peace and chaos. And as dawn began to color the sky in faint gold, one truth became clear. The past had found her again, and it wouldn't let go until she faced it. The first light of dawn crept through the thin curtains, painting the room in muted gold. Linda hadn't slept a minute. The weight of the night still lingered on her chest, heavy and breathless. She had spent hours on the balcony, watching the world slowly awaken, hoping that somewhere in the quiet, she'd find an answer. But when Quang's familiar footsteps echoed down the hall, she realized that answers never came that easily, especially the kind that could destroy everything. He appeared at the kitchen doorway, his shirt sleeves rolled up, his hair still damp from his morning shower. There was something endlessly comforting about him, the way he smiled even before speaking, the way his eyes softened when they found hers. "You've been up all night again, haven't you?" he said gently, pouring coffee into 2 mugs. Linda nodded, forcing a small smile. "Just couldn't stop thinking." "About the restaurant?" he asked, handing her the cup. She hesitated, then shook her head. "No, about my past." Quang's expression shifted, concern deepening in his eyes. He reached across the table, his hand brushing against hers. "You don't have to face it alone, Linda. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together." His words, so full of quiet certainty, tore at her heart. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to hold on to that simplicity, to this kitchen that smelled of coffee and safety. But the memory of Vu's voice still haunted her, curling around her thoughts like smoke. "Leave him. Come back to me. I'll tell you everything." "Quang," she began, her voice trembling. "If one day I had to go somewhere, if I had to leave for a while to find something that matters to me, would you hate me for it?" He frowned slightly, confused by the sudden question. "Leave? Why would you?" She cut him off, afraid that if she didn't speak now, she'd never have the courage again. "Not because I want to, but because I need to. There are things I don't understand, things about who I am." Quang leaned back, silent for a moment. Then he nodded slowly. Linda, I don't care where you came from. You're here now. You're my home. But if you need to find your answers, I won't stop you. I'll be right here when you come back." His calmness undid her. The tears she'd been holding back finally slipped down her cheeks. She reached out, taking his hand in both of hers, her fingers trembling. "You always make it sound so easy," she whispered. He smiled faintly. "That's what love should be." But deep inside, Linda knew it wouldn't be easy. Not this time. Because whatever truth Vu held could tear her life apart. It wasn't just about her parents anymore. It was about everything she had built with Quang. As Quang kissed her forehead and went to prepare for work, Linda stood by the window once more. The morning light flooded the room, bright yet cold. Somewhere miles away, Vu was waiting, with his secrets, his power, and the key to a past she might regret unlocking.